opportunity to be able to highlight and well overdue the great success that our team in Canada has been involved in for the past 13 years. And much like the growth of DAVACO, our Canadian operation has grown really off the back of our clients. And as an organization, we've always grown, and that growth has been predicated on where our clients are going. And so as I think about the iteration and the growth of that specific market, I'm incredibly proud. And that growth has been off the back of hard work and tireless effort by some really strong tenured employees who take a personal approach and dedication to listening to our clients with the intent to learn, understanding their goals and objectives of where they're trying to go, and then developing a solution that's mutually beneficial and in the end provides a enhanced experience for their consumers. And so we've done that very well for the past 13 years. Through the growth of our organization, the one thing I'm proud of is that we work very well together cross-border, regardless of the client, regardless of the time zone, the province, boundary, no boundary, border, no border. We're a seamless organization. And that hasn't happened the entire time. That has grown. But it's taken the leadership and the dedication of our leaders and some on this call today who have worked with their peers to say, let's break down the silos. Let's work amongst each other to achieve that common goal that we're also aligned to do, which is to take care of our client. So regardless if that client is a US headquartered client with operations in Canada or a Canadian headquartered client with projects in the US, it's a DAVACO customer. And we all come together with that common goal of doing what's right for the customer and what's right for our organization.
So just elaborating on Jordan's point, it wasn't that way historically through the 13 years that we've been here. It has, like Jordan alluded to, it is in a growth phase right now. We've always taken the support departments from the States, and we've always utilized that. So payroll, HR, all of our internal departments have always been that way. Now the program management is really starting to tie together with getting us on the same platforms and all the minutiae detail that really lends itself to collaboration. So both departments or both sides of the border, I should say, I won't even say departments, they are working seamlessly together, and it's a very cohesive team. And quite honestly, it's a breath of fresh air. It is nice to see like-minded individuals with common goals and just executing on both sides of the border. And the consistency factor is refreshing as well. You're not going to get a different store of Sephora brand in the US as you will in Canada. It'll be the same. It'll be consistent. And I think it's a great approach for DAVACO, and I'm really glad we're embracing each other. So.
Yeah, I think as we've grown the various brands that we work with, we've realized that we had to adapt to that and we had to provide that service because we do have a lot of logos here that I, particularly am responsible for growing and nurturing and developing that relationship with, and they cross the border. They don't care if the location is in downtown Toronto or downtown New York. They have to be the same. They have that brand integrity through North America, and therefore we have to respond in the same. And so when we started to identify that there was really some growth that was happening with Canadian brands across both countries, we realized we had to make that adjustment, and it's been great. I happen to have a number of clients that their origin started in European countries, and then they've expanded into the Canadian market, into the US market, and so on. And so to get back to their kind of, grassroots and be able to support them in other countries would be, personally and professionally a goal I'd like to achieve.
Go back to the growth of this organization and going from a Texas, Dallas-based company that started in 1990 off one single client. We grew because our clients needed help. And as we asked those questions and we listened to the needs of our clients, that pushed us into new services and new markets. We're in Canada today because our first client, McDonald's, had a need. And as our clients continue to have these needs beyond their level of comfort with their current portfolio of service providers, we will grow. And so I'm constantly analyzing where those opportunities lie to expand services as we've grown from programmatic kind of CapEx dependent rollouts, refresh and remodel work, kind of more GC related services, now into logistics, now into maintenance, doing Matterport surveys. We're looking at other avenues where we can grow to meet our clients' needs and continue to get sticky with them and be that easy button, if you will, to provide those services. And so as our clients, and most of our clients are global organizations that operate from Tokyo and Singapore to Dubai and all around the world, with retail centers and restaurant stores and other businesses. Does it make sense to grow with them and to look at international marketplaces? One of the things we have to take into consideration is local law and requirement, regulations, compliance concerns, and labor restrictions. And having lived and worked personally internationally for the first 17 years of my career between Europe, Africa, and Asia, I'm well versed in what's required to do that. I do think it presents a very interesting and exciting potential future for the organization as we look at growth. But I will say we still have so much opportunity to continue to refine who we are within North America, to continue to go above and beyond and wow our clients here, to meet all their expectations and their needs, and then look at, as they grow, we will grow. And one great example we had was with McDonald's in the US. And McDonald's in the US introduced us to one of their franchise partners that were based in Argentina. And they were looking to scale and expand. And so we sent a team down to Argentina to meet with their organization to find ways that we could support them, bring best in class examples of what we've done with McDonald's in the US and share that with the team in Argentina. And so we'll continue to look at that. I think there is opportunity. I think there is growth potential for us and for our clients as they grow. And you got to listen. And once you listen, understand where they're going to go, I think it puts us in a good position.
I think it's pretty prevalent in the retail market in particular, in apparel, footwear. You see a lot of brands that want to either come into the Canadian market from the US or in Europe, as I mentioned, or vice versa. You know, there's a lot of globalization that's happened, and they want that brand recognition, you know, across different countries. And I think they also want to make sure that it's to their brand standard. If we have that developed already, we have those, you know, kind of tribal knowledge pieces of how to execute, how to ensure that we can get that done to their brand standard. It's really important that they have the confidence that they can achieve that across, you know, different countries, across different states and provinces. And I think having some partnership with some of our affiliated companies, you know, Crane Worldwide is a great example that can help facilitate that as well. I think there was a program with Tim Hortons where we were able to help import some materials and some equipment to execute and effectively, you know, complete a project where otherwise they would have been stuck to do so. So I think it's something that, you know, is very prominent and prevalent in a couple of particular commodities and industries. And to Jordan's point, I think it would be irresponsible of us to not respond to that.
I agree with that, and the way we've grown in these two countries specifically, it's just like Jordan said, is growing with the customers. So again, really hard to really follow up those two comments on international sales, but as the clients grow and there's a need there, and definitely something that we're not intimidated by and something that we'll embrace is the global footprint. So again, hard to follow up on those two comments because I think they encapsulated everything, but at the same thing, wanted to add my 2 cents.
We deployed and employ Canadians in the Canadian market. We understand that you can't open an office in Canada and then move our team from Dallas into Canada to run that office. Culturally, it doesn't work. We went out and found the best talent we could find in market that represent our ideals and our vision of where we're going. We have support from legal in country. Our HR practices follow Canadian law. But our teams are well versed in the requirements, be it labor and or government payroll to meet those needs and support our clients. And we have robust compliance understanding of what's required. But our team is local. They are Canadian. They're born and raised there. And that does help us in that pursuit of staying compliant.
So there is another layer there as well as not just hiring Canadians, it's hiring Canadians in each diverse market. So like Aaron alluded to and Jordan did as well, there's provinces in Canada that, have different regulations, whether that be Ministry of Labor requirements or permit process requirements, that somebody local is really, if they're not the authority, they become the authority. So again, just to bring it down to another level, hire Canadians. We also hire local Canadians in each market, and they're all familiar with the local codes, regulations. So that's how we're able to really continue to operate with all the different granular municipal and provincial regulations in Canada. It really does go down to local employees that are close enough to touch these things and stick handle them to the finish line. So that's how we manage in Canada anyway.
I think there's similarity to some states in the US that would mirror, our complexities too. So, there's different states that have different requirements or that are more heavily union labor, that kind of thing. So it's fairly common, I think, across, every country, every province or every state within each country would have those regulations, and just being proactive in identifying them. But to both of, Jordan and Chad's point, when you hire people that have that local experience and level of expertise, you kind of get there faster. You mitigate some of those learning curves, and they're able to identify, in order to complete this project or work with this client in this market, here's what we need to do to achieve that successfully.
We use Matterport hardware. So Matterport is a branding on the camera itself. That utilizes LiDAR technology, which is point cloud data, which is basically, in layman's terms, GPS signals for every point that it takes. So that's the way we're able to get the accuracy to where it needs to be for our clients. We've also had some bolt-on services for this program as well. One of the facets of Matterport is creating an AutoCAD drawing. A lot of our clients right now, they have databases which have a lot of gaps. AutoCAD drawings are not always a part of that. So the first step in the design build is always creating the AutoCAD, which we are able to facilitate with Matterport. We have a robust network of engineering support partners that will be able to operate across the country. If they're not local, because BC is not local, they do have reciprocity there. So they are able to apply for all the building permits, stamp their own drawings, and in turn our own drawings, because they're one of our partners. And we're able to really get in further upstream. And Rochelle, what that allows us to do as well is that allows us to get our project managers further upstream and allow time for planning. So it's just a very smooth project with that amount of control under DAVACO's umbrella. We can create AutoCAD drawings within a week, which is blasting industry standards out of the water. Our engineer also as well can stamp the drawings the week after. So again, building permit, even with a new conceptual drawing or a new space, sorry, we can be boots on the ground, at a very aggressive rate within 2 weeks. And that's from not having a drawing set to having a fully stamped set of drawings, and basically waiting on the city for permits at that point. So we've really shown that to McDonald's and A&W, and we have turned around in those timelines, and they really find a lot of good things coming from that. So I do think that it's a great place for DAVACO to get into. I do think that the earlier the better for DAVACO, because this is a technology that will become widespread, but I think we're early adopters here at DAVACO. So.
Something to add to the Matterports that I've found really beneficial in working with clients on a long-term basis is once they have a recent and current Matterport, so if they're completing a large project, we'll go in and we'll do a full scan, and they'll have the ability to remote access the store and navigate through in almost a virtual capacity to zoom in on and identify a particular fixture or what a flooring makeup might look like. This is not only making it easier for us to help them quote out another project that might be unrelated to the last time that we were in and touching physically executing something in the space, future planning and understanding what they're working with and not having to travel them into market as well. So it's been a massive cost savings for our clients once they've completed these surveys to be able to work on future programs and be able to remote in virtually through, a Teams meeting like this, and navigate and say, okay, this is part of the scope. Let's validate and verify. And we can do it collectively with them, on a 30-minute call instead of going back and forth, needing a site visit, emails, phone calls, etc. And we can sort of map out that scope of work and identify those items right then and there.
We were at the A&W convention in California in April. We brought a VR headset down there, and we were able to have the owners and their children, because they found value in that, because they brought their kids to the convention. But we were able to have the owners and the children walk around their actual store from California. So they really thought it was great. Again, that's just an optical thing. It's not really usable inside of our programs, but again, something for the sales team. It really is new technology, and people find it fascinating. You can drop inside the 360 view of the Matterport, and if you look, we weren't even in the store to scope this side of the store out, but you can walk up to that wall and measure the wall with the measuring tool. So now, like Aaron just spoke to, again, you're not remobilizing the site to catch that measurement that you forgot, because now you can go into Matterport virtually, pull the tape, and there's your measurements. So it really does save the customer a lot of money, and again, it saves a lot of time as well. And time is money in this industry. So
that's right. It's technology that the organization invested in well over a decade ago. It was initially designed in-house and developed to support our field teams who were out in the field working, to give them visibility to both a task of things they had to accomplish in a given day or night within a job. It also provided visibility on the front end of what was to transpire. We then would survey on the back end to show what was completed. And as we went out and talked to our clients, we realized there was a growing need to provide enhanced visibility. The industry itself, I still say today, is really in a position to grow through technology. And so DAVACO early on saw that gap and invested in Clearthread to provide better visibility to our teams in the field, as well as to our clients. Today, that tool is heavily used in two functions. One, still surveying. So that is typically before a program begins, we will deploy our teams through a set geography to go in, agreed upon survey questions that we've aligned with the client on, and our teams are going out and do physical real estate and taking pictures and videos of a certain area within that store and documenting things that the client finds and deems necessary to use and then develop a program based off those details. A great case in point is a program that we are commencing on over the next 2 weeks with Chipotle, where we're going to go in and replace all their current flat top grills with a new enhanced, they call it a clamshell grill, which is a dual site. So we've sent our teams out across to all sites. We have surveyed the area. We have looked at the electrical requirements. We have looked at the measurements to get a grill in and out, and all the components that are necessary to successfully execute that program. And that visibility is then fed back to our clients in a raw data form, so they can then use that data as well to help make decisions and prepare for what they're going to invest in this overall program. The other function that Clearthread has is it provides a function within what we call as job that gives a task and a function to execute a set of things to be done within a store on a day-to-day basis. And so really it's a task-oriented checklist, if you will, that allows our teams to go in and follow that blueprint of what needs to get done. In addition to Clearthread, again, which was built in-house, it's proprietary to the organization, a system that we still believe has tremendous value, and a system that today we are going to reinvest in to grow and become really the latest iteration of what that can deliver to the market. But through also talking to our clients, we've realized that in looking at the makeup of the work that we've done, we've invested in another software, which is Procore. And Procore is an off-the-shelf project management software that really provides, again, a streamlined project management approach to some of the larger projects, larger remodels that we're involved in. And so as an organization, when we think about technology, technology will continue to define, in my opinion, the leaders in this space. If we go back to 30 years ago, even 20 years ago in this industry, it was very much paper oriented. People would go onto a site, piece of paper, physically draw a survey, paper prints, and they would execute a task. But what happens in the middle of the night when there is an issue that arises, there's a change order that needs to be escalated up to our clients. There's visibility that people need to have to be able to make decisions. And so as we continue to grow, we're going to continue to invest in technology and the ability to be able to give our clients real-time visibility into what's happening every single day. And then how do you look at predictive analytics and leverage AI to then help streamline the process and give our teams in the end the best tools and resources to be successful and the most granular visibility for our clients to understand what's transpiring, what could possibly happen, and how do we get in front of those things to drive down cost and provide a better experience.
It's a good segue too, Jordan, to our investment in other technologies that support our field team, support our client, the connectivity, the cross-border element, the global aspect, and of course, it'd be remiss to not mention FEXA for our project management support and maintenance, and facilities maintenance and facilities management. So I think technology and the embrace of it in the organization allows us to kind of eliminate those borders and eliminate those divides so that it can be supported across North America or globally.
One thing I'd like to say about ClearThread, because I think Aaron and Jordan did a great job of describing what ClearThread does. The one thing I see DAVACO as is a group of very highly trained professionals. And there is nothing better than a group of highly trained professionals walking into a space with DAVACO swag on, with their own proprietary software, and saying, you know what, we can meet your needs because we own this software. We can make it meet your needs. We can change it. We can add to it. We can take away whatever it needs to be. It's ours. So again, I think that Jordan, a great comment there with Procore. I think it's a great platform, but it's an off-the-shelf platform. And ClearThread is something that we can manipulate and twist to meet the needs of our clients in our niche environment. Because that's one thing I will say about DAVACO, it's a very unique environment and it's changing from day to day. So it is nice to have that flexibility in something that is proprietary, something that is feasible to use in the field and beneficial, and something that we can change to meet the client's needs. So I think that is probably one of the larger benefits of ClearThread. It might look different to McDonald's than it does to A&W, but again, it services their needs. Right. And again, I think that's our strength in ClearThread is the being able to tweak it.
Well, I think it's also, Chad, our strength in technology, and that as we listen to our clients, there's not this one size fits all. Here is our box, and you've got to fit within our box.
Yeah.
The one thing that we've prided ourselves on is our ability to be agile and to have a sense of urgency and to listen to the client. And so we have some clients who absolutely love the functionality, the details and the reporting analytics that come from ClearThread, which is why we're going to always invest in that system. And we have other clients who truly want to see a different level of visibility analytics, which is why we invested in Procore. And so as an organization, we're going to continue to look at and listen to the needs of our clients. And then again, as Aaron said, on the maintenance side, we have FEXA, which manages the day-to-day inbound and outbound visibility and execution of a service ticket within maintenance. And so you think about, 3 different unique operational platforms that provide next generational technology to our clients. And so proud of the technology, proud of the investment. It's only as good as the data you put in, no doubt. But we have the right tools as a company. We're going to continue to invest in next generational technology to propel the company forward and ensure our teams have the right resources.
I think the versatility, the fact that we're, pliable and malleable and adaptable to what each client need and, specificity is really a highlight. The fact that we can keep that brand continuity coast to coast across the border is, invaluable to them. There's one point of contact, and yet we have boots on the ground in each province, in each state. We can roll them, the team across and train up, scale up and out. So that's something that really sets us apart. I think the ability to adapt to different technology, because there are different platforms that sit in-house with different clients, be it a software for their reporting or a software for their invoicing, their data collection, their proprietary information themselves that they house and hold. The fact that our team has that experience in navigating different pieces of technology gives the confidence to the client that we're going to be able to jump in, slow learning curve, and then be able to roll out and execute based on, what it is that they use on a day-to-day basis. So I think it does set us apart. And I think it is something that, I definitely kind of hold in my tool belt and back pocket and bring out based on, asking probing questions of what it is that they're looking to accomplish and achieve. And then bringing in those different people and those different pieces of technology to support that so that it is a customized, but yet a backed up by experience and skill set delivery and end result.
There's a lot of value around employee retainment. Obviously, just the bare necessities, not having to retrain, blah blah blah. Those things internally for DAVACO. The things outside for that is there's familiar faces in the program world for our clients. Again, Canada is a smaller country, so we run across the same program managers. And if you see the competent employees at DAVACO program after program, it just instills confidence, because they know they've been inside the stores time after time again. They've completed different scopes. So that gives the client confidence to come back to DAVACO, and it also allows us to solution for clients. We're not spending our time relearning. We're always forward moving and progressing. So again, that's the benefit to the clients, and also at DAVACO in Canada. If we do move up the ranks. So like my story, I started as a carpenter, and now I'm obviously the director. So we do a lot of promoting inside the ranks. And what that does is that, as I spoke on the last question, there's a lot of uniqueness to DAVACO, and that allows everybody to understand the uniqueness as they grow. Again, all of our site supervisors that were on the B17 and our MHC coin boxes, they are now either field construction managers, operation managers, or like myself, a director. So we take the knowledge from the bottom and we roll it up through the ranks. And again, it just works for DAVACO, and it really works for our clients. So we retain knowledge by promoting inside, and again, it's worked out great over the years.
It's really cool to see when you have some of those field level individuals that are really integrated into programs, sit in on some of the meetings that I have with the clients, and we kind of reflect on the program, where we'll do a synopsis or, end of program reporting, and they're able to bring forward some key identifying factors that either led to an expedited success or delivery of the program, but then they're also able to highlight things, areas of opportunity for future programs. There's been a number of times where a field project manager is on site, clients doing a site visit, and they identify something that otherwise might have been muted or muffled or left out of a report. But because that report and that collective kind of cohesive approach to working through the program is encouraged to have, they're able to speak up, identify, show, what their findings are. And we've mitigated a lot of problems, but we've also supported some solution-based ones for future programs, for future initiatives, identified, areas of opportunity that they wouldn't have identified otherwise. And so it's really cool to see when the field gets to kind of speak up and share that information, but it's all based around having that knowledge and that experience and building those relationships with the clients year over year, program after program.
We work in a very crowded space. There's a lot of competitors that we run against and see on a day-to-day basis, and some are global organizations and regional companies and national conglomerates to local general contractors. And so how do we create difference? And Chad just teed it up perfectly. I think there's four things. First and foremost, it's our people. And everybody says that. But we take pride in, first and foremost, how we recruit and how we hire and how we train and how we onboard and how we coach and how we lead. It's those tenured individuals that truly represent the brand. I've spent the past 3 or 4 weeks on the road on project sites. But as I talk to our field team members, it makes me really, it brings me back to what we do. If we think about our corporate head office, it's a support center. Our only job in corporate is to support the field, because the field is the service. The field is what makes DAVACO. And so it is the people. It's those individuals that sacrifice their time, that travel around, that are gone from their families, that are working on projects, that are building relationships with the clients, that are creating a difference that in the end, our clients are proud of. It's our technology, which we talked about, and our continued investment in technology, next generational technology, to give our teams the tools and resources to be successful, and our clients the visibility they so need. But it's also logistics, and we haven't talked a lot about logistics, but when we think about a point of difference in a crowded space, our ability to go upstream and move product, owner-supplied items, into forward stocking locations, create a kit of parts, consolidate materials, deliver just in time. So the material arrives and our crews are there to take it off a truck and install it. Allows us to drive speed to market, mitigate risk, and in the end, get cash registers within our client stores turning faster. And if we do those things, then we're going to enhance that consumer experience for our clients. And so we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to help drive our brands forward. As they work in a crowded space, so do we. We have to always evolve. We have to always listen with the intent to learn. We have to always have a tremendous sense of ownership and urgency in what we do. But as we listen to where our clients are going and we understand the challenges they face, we can put solutions together that in the end help them operate more efficiently, and then we do our job.
It's been really cool to see different pictures and posts of, my US support team counterparts. I'm grateful and lucky to get to see them on a semi-quarterly basis, regular basis. So to then see them in a, Canadian t-shirt with a Canadian flag and supporting us from afar is really cool, because they support us on a daily basis, but to highlight it in this way has been fun to watch. I also am part of the Celebrate Differences Committee with DAVACO, and the focus is to highlight our differences, celebrate our differences, and it's brought forward a really cool learning experience and curve for the US team to understand some of the uniquenesses that we have, but that we're, collective together and better together for it. And it's been really eye-opening for me. I think it's been eye-opening for, a lot of different people, that we are similar, but yet different and the same. So it's been cool to watch.
What it's meant for me specifically in Canada, and not necessarily me, but for the organization as a whole. There's been a lot of people mentioned on the blogs that they're saying that this is great. They have the recognition, to see the clients commenting, saying, you guys did do a great job. You are great partners. So I think it's the effort that everybody puts in all the time, and the recognition that they're receiving right now in this moment in September, that's really making the difference for internally at DAVACO. It's also, again, letting our clients know, like a big part of what we should be doing is letting the clients know what we do. When they have a certain program, they assume that we do this. And now with this showcase, they see all the different projects, different scope types that we create, all the different teams that we can put in place. Like we spoke before, the permit team, like that's up there on LinkedIn to see, and hopefully that gets some interest going amongst our clients as well, right? So yeah, the takeover month has been great for DAVACO Canada. I've been feeling a lot of great calls from everybody saying thank you for recognizing the work we do, and again, I feel it's a great initiative, and yeah, it's gone over really well in Canada, both clients and DAVACO internally. So thank you very much for that. It was good.
It's much deserved appreciation for a team that has continued to overperform and far exceed the market's expectations. We have a team that takes what they do incredibly personal, yet they bring tremendous dedication, a lot of skill, and they have a lot of fun while they do it, but to our clients. And so getting a moment, getting a month, quite frankly, where we can turn the colors red and give appreciation to a team that has been a huge part of our success over the past 13 years is long overdue and very much deserved.